How can we develop the national advocacy and influencing agenda for the Giving for Change program? This is a critical question that the Giving for Change partners reflected on during the interviews that were conducted on the sidelines of the Giving for Change National Advocacy and Influencing Workshop that was hosted by Africa Philanthropy Network in South Africa. Good afternoon. May you kindly introduce yourself and the organization that you are representing?
Yes, my name is Esther Meester. I work for Wilde Ganzen Foundation from the Netherlands.
And how do you find yourself being involved in the Giving for Change program?
This is based on previous work that we have done as a foundation. We have a history of supporting initiatives that are taken at community level by people themselves to change their situation, change the situation for their communities. And over the past 15 years, we've also started to look at opportunities to enhance domestic resource mobilization as a very important strategy in strengthening community agency. And we've started to work together with like-minded organizations, and based on those collaborations and the opportunity that presented itself under the Dutch policy framework, we've started to form this alliance that is now called Giving for Change.
And how many countries are involved in the Giving for Change program, and what's the duration of the program? What's the specific focus?
Yeah, there are 8 countries involved in the program, plus a number of alliance members that work at the international level. It's a 5-year program funded by the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs under the Strengthening Civil Society framework. And our aim is to foster, enhance community philanthropy and other forms of domestic philanthropy as a strategy to really strengthen community voice, community agency, to change the way development is done, moving from a top-down approach to really a people-driven, bottom-up approach. We want to foster that, strengthen it, but also strengthen the enabling environment for it, and motivate other actors to recognize this field of work and also support this field of work.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And we are almost 2 years into the project. What are you hearing? What are you seeing? Any points of success, challenges that are worth mentioning?
I think what really stands out, what we hear a lot, is that when people start to speak about raising resources locally and resources in the broadest sense, inviting people to actively be involved in change processes, to design those themselves, it starts with changing mindsets, and it starts by people recognizing that they have capacities, resources available that they can pull together to really initiate change. And oftentimes, for many reasons, people have kind of internalized a mindset that solutions should come from outside. But when people recognize their own potential, things start to get in motion, and it's the start of change processes. So I think that's really, in those first 2 years, something that we hear a lot from different countries. Yes, there are challenges, but I think the results are very encouraging.
Thank you so much, Esther. And finally, this week I think it has really been eventful being at the National Advocacy and Influencing Workshop. What are some of your reflections, your takeaways, and things that we can just consider?
I think we're still very much in our reflection and thinking process. I think it is very important to take the time to reflect on what are the other stakeholders, the other actors that can positively influence community philanthropy, and how do we bring them on board? What are our strategies? What are our messages? And how do we do that with an approach, with a specific eye on inclusion and diversity? How do we ensure that policies, practices that actually provide a space for those voices who are maybe less listened to, people's whose rights are more under pressure, that they can voice their needs, that they can claim their rights and drive their own change. And I think this is really a thought-provoking workshop in which we really think about the broader environment in which we operate, but with thinking very specifically about, okay, but how do we then also promote gender and inclusion in our work?
Thank you very much, Esther, for this insightful discussion and for sharing your perspective of what you have been hearing, you've been seeing from all the countries that are implementing the Giving for Change project. Thank you so much.